All right. We are live for the first Thumb Strong podcast of the new year, live on Facebook anyway.
Yeah.
We did do one last week, but I don't remember. I think we had a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and we didn't want to set everything up.
We just ended up not going live on Facebook. So, but it is up. In case you missed that post, it's in the group and on the YouTube for people to watch. So we are going to kind of kick off the new year. We want to do more of a how-to series for at least this first quarter of the year. So we're going to try to do more topics on how to anything health and fitness related. So our first topic for this week is basically going to be to how to start your fitness routine as we head into 2026 and how not to. So there are some things that you kind of don't want to do or you want to avoid. And then obviously there's ways to get started on the right track to where you're going to be successful and achieve your goals throughout the whole year and not just in a short amount of time, right? So just some things that we're going to kind of go over. The core focus is going to be how to start without burnout, how many days should we be shooting to train, how to schedule our workouts, how to remove kind of decision fatigue. So one of the hardest parts about starting anything is just making all the different choices and stuff like, okay, what am I going to do? When am I going to go do it? How long am I going to be there? Mm-hmm. What body parts am I going to do on what days? Things like that, right? It just can be kind of hectic, especially when you're adding it into already busy schedule for most of us, right? So let's kick it off with kind of the first little part here, Bethany.
Okay, first part. So what we're trying to solve with this is how most people, they don't struggle because they lack motivation. They tend to struggle because they don't know how to start in a way that actually fits their life or that's sustainable, something that's realistic. Usually the New Year's kind of spurs people to be very optimistic about what they're going to be able to handle all year, not taking into account life stress or anything else coming in the way. So we're going to talk about how to start smart and not extreme.
Yeah. And really try to get something that sticks when the motivation fades away. Because motivation is really high right now for a lot of us, right? Like as we're kicking off the new year and we have these goals set and
you're ready to go 10 out of 10 on that intensity scale, like you're ready to lock in.
Yep. And we're going to talk about why that can actually be a negative part of how not to start. So that's kind of like the first segment is why most people fail when they do set these New Year's resolutions, and we'll try to keep it obviously health and fitness related. Like a lot of us have some sort of fitness or health resolution as we start the year. So just a few reasons is why people might fail or not stay consistent throughout the year is they start a little too strong with, maybe they do 5, 6, 7 workouts a week that are really intense and it can lead to a little bit of burnout. So we talked earlier and there's nothing wrong with showing up to the gym every day. But you do want to be really strategic with like what you're doing when you do come to the gym so that you don't burn out and end up like kind of hating the process.
Right.
So starting out with a little bit too intense, that 10 out of 10, maybe you're trying to come and do like 5, 6, full body or high intensity workouts or something like that. It's going to get really hard. In other words, you're going too hard, too fast. Another reason is just relying on that motivation. So let's say you do start really hard and you go that whole week, you made all 6 workouts, you're like, cool, I'm pumped up. And then you wake up Sunday and you're beat to the ground and you're super sore. All of a sudden that motivation is going to go way down from Monday morning, and you wake up Monday, you're like, oh, last thing I want to do is go back and do this all over again. Right. So that is very, very common. And another reason would be you're making, you're changing kind of everything at once instead of just focusing on a couple of different areas to start with as you begin the year. So these are some common reasons why people would fail. that increase in training volume also increases that risk for injury and that soreness, as I mentioned. The fatigue and pain reduce adherence. Motivation is unreliable and fluctuates even with like the stress, the sleep, and life demands. So as you progress throughout the year, obviously there's different things that you have to do, whether you have kids in sports or work, everything in life, there's different stressors and interruptions, and depending on your sleep, like we mentioned last podcast, even, going from like 5 hours of sleep to 7 is almost like a performance enhancing drug. So if you go the other way and you're sleep deprived and you're only getting 5 hours a night, all of a sudden that motivation is going to dip, the fatigue is going to increase, the soreness is going to increase, right? So it's just going to make it that much harder to be able to do it. And then too many decisions leads to decision fatigue. So failure isn't usually effort related, it's plan related. So if you plan correctly, you can work your way around it. So anything else to add to that, Bethany?
No, that's pretty good.
Okay. So now, if you want to go into how to start the right way of what we would recommend.
Yeah, so starting the right way, first is choosing the right frequency. And I don't believe in absolutes, so I'm going to say every different person has every different right frequency for themselves. But as a general rule of thumb, most people are going to do best with 2 to 3 days a week of strength training specifically. So like you're in lifting weights or you're doing body weight strength training, not just cardio and HIIT and all that kind of stuff. So 2 to 3 days per week of that. And then a caveat to like, obviously the 5 to 6 days a week. If you're going too intense, too frequently, then you're going to burn out real fast. But if you even did, 3 to 5 strength training days, or even if you did want to have the goal of getting to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, what that does is just helps the habit form. Even if you're only coming in for 20 minutes, you're less likely to say, oh, I'm tired today, I'll go tomorrow. Because I know for some people, or like if I only worked out 2 days a week, I would be like, nah, I don't feel like it today. I'll do it tomorrow. And it's just not a great mindset pattern to get into if you keep skipping it on the days you don't feel like it. Instead, if you have the goal of, okay, I'm going to get in there 5, 6 days a week and do something. It doesn't have to be all out, but, make sure there's 3 to 5 days of the resistance training. And maybe the other days you do something lighter or stretching or core, something like that. You're at least having the habit of, I'm going to show up and do something. And so I feel like building that habit is going to be more reinforcing for your identity. And then, like we've talked about in other ones, if you have that identity built, then you're going to be more likely to stick with things long term. So trying to move every day at least, even if it's just walking or stretching, at least doing some sort of movement. Could be playing a game or a sport or something like that. Just to get a little bit of movement in helps dramatically every day.
A couple of things that I want to add on that is, like when people come in, most of our clients, are going to be usually moms or dads, busy parents, anywhere from 35 to 65 is kind of most of our clients. And so they might not have the time to come in 5 or 6 days a week. So that's why that 2 to 3 days, and it all depends on what your time availability is and then what kind of split you want to try to do. So personally, like I lift 5 days a week, and I have my workouts split up to where I'm not overworking or beating myself up too bad where I can't show up next week. So for most of our training clients in group training workouts and most of our recommendations, it's 2 to 3 days of strength training, and you're doing a little bit of upper and lower body in every day.
Full body,
full body workouts. And then usually we'll have a day in between. So our best prescription would be if you can commit to like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for 45 minutes to an hour, full body workout. And then the other days you move. So like Bethany said, you can still have the habit of showing up to the gym, but instead of hitting another workout, those are great days to hop on the treadmill, do the elliptical, recumbent bike, do the rower, the air bike, just move your body, get the blood pumping, maybe do some body weight stuff, some stretching, foam rolling.
Some extra like functional stuff,
Yep.
maybe like, core carries or
Yeah,
something.
core.
Like,
you can do core every day, you know. So the point is to get in the habit of just intentionally moving your body every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we find that 2 to 3 days of strength training is a great rule of thumb. Obviously, if you can get to the point, if you can fit it in your schedule where you're training 3, 4, 5 days, I personally think that is better as long as you have the right split, like I mentioned.
Right.
5 days of full body isn't necessarily the right training, protocol or strategy. The more days you train, kind of the more you want to split it up. So, for example, if you were on a 4-day split, which is a great option, you could do an upper body, lower body. So like, let's say Monday you did upper, Tuesday you did lower, day off. Maybe you went for a walk, bike ride, came in here, did the treadmill, did some foam rolling, yoga, whatever, move the body. And then you repeated it again, upper, lower. And then you had a couple rest days on the weekend where you just went for a walk or did some stretching again, right? Mm-hmm. So there's different ways to kind of break that up, but that's going to be up to you guys to decide on your schedule and how many days that you can commit to actually strength training. The great thing about moving your body is you can do it wherever, right?
Right.
So you don't have to come into the gym, although if you can schedule that habit, like Bethany said, if it was 20 minutes, you're just building that identity. You're mm-hmm. convincing yourself that you are committed to your health and fitness. And the more times you show up throughout the year, the more it's going to become a part of your lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So,
plus having a separate space helps because
yes.
like once you get home, you think of all the things you need to do mm-hmm. when you get home, and so you're like, do I do this or do I go work out? And then, sometimes you might choose to go work out, like at home, but a lot of times you'll fall victim to, oh man, there's dishes in the sink, or like that needs to get cleaned, or I got to make dinner, and then it's easier to prioritize fitness when it's separate or outside of the house.
Yeah. And that's that decision fatigue that we'll talk about, and just willpower in general.
Right.
We only have so much willpower. And we've talked about this in podcasts where think of willpower as part of your brain, and it's almost like a little battery, right? And throughout the day, it just kind of gets drained because we have to make all these decisions.
Yeah.
So if you're working out, especially if you're working out after work mm-hmm. or at night, you got to imagine that willpower battery is almost dead, and you only have a few more decisions that you can make without caving in and saying no to something, right?
Yeah.
So that's why if you can separate those things by, okay, I'm not going to try to work out at home, I need to go to the gym, that way it's the only thing I need to think about and just get mm-hmm. it out of the way. If you try to combine it with multiple other things, something's going to get dropped. That's also why a lot of people really have good success with working out in the morning, because choosing to work out is hard enough. But if you chose to do it first when that willpower battery is the fullest, it's easier to get it done, and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the day, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how to schedule your workouts so that they actually happen. So this is kind of tying right into what we just talked about.
Yep. Keep it consistent is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So, same time, same place. So if it's okay at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'm going to come into the gym and do mm-hmm. something for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's time, place. You're good. You're locked in, right? But if you're kind of inconsistent and doing like, wow, I'm going to do after work one day, and then one day I'm going to do before work, and then it just having that weird schedule back and forth like that just doesn't set you up for success. Mm-hmm. Or even if you are doing it at home, try to have a separate place, not like in the middle of a living room where there's kids running all the way around. It's like if you have a basement or some place where it's like if you go there, then that's your mental cue mm-hmm. that, okay, this is workout time.
Yep.
It's not, let me do all these different things. It's, okay, when's workout time? And then, just having the same time just helps for you to plan ahead for it, whether it is right after work or, some people really like coming in the evenings, and then some people really like coming in like early mornings or midday if it's your lunch break or something, as long as it's consistent.
Yeah. And treat your workouts like appointments. like put it right in your calendar, like when you're going to work out every day. Like I have it on my calendar, along with all my sessions and meetings and Zooms and stuff, you know, and I have pretty much blocked off, you know, 9 a.m., 9:30 every day of the week. Like I told Katie we're going to work out at 9:30 today because I knew we would be recording a podcast.
Yeah.
So it's around 9 to 10 o'clock every single day of the week for the most part. And I have that blocked off. So unfortunately, like if somebody wants to work with me as far as a training client or something, that's on the calendar. So it's blocked. Like it's not getting overtaken usually. Maybe one-time exceptions, but I'm not going to eliminate all those, right? So and I like to think about it like this. Like you need to think about your workouts like appointments, just like if you scheduled the dentist appointment, you scheduled the doctor's appointment. I mean, we go to work every day. You can't just wake up and like, I don't want to go to work. I'm just not going to. I mean, you can, but how often do we do that? Not very often. If you wake up and you say, I don't really feel like working out today, the more times you do that, you're just convincing yourself that it's not a priority, it's not important to you, and it's going to be way harder to stick with it long term. Whereas when you do show up and you do stay consistent, you are literally convincing yourself that this is a priority, this is who you are, and that's what we talk about with that identity change. If you do it long enough, it becomes a part of your identity, it becomes your lifestyle, and then you don't have to think about it as much. Like there is that curve of time where it is difficult, right? But then there's that point to where, and we hear it a lot with clients that like go on a vacation or maybe they took a week off and they're like, man, I missed the gym. Like it was weird not coming in and doing my workouts. Yeah. If you can get to the point where you miss it or it feels weird not to do it, that's a great sign that it's becoming a part of that lifestyle. And your identity is slowly changing, right? When you miss time and you're like, man, I just don't feel the same. And you start picking up on that. So 100%, if it's not scheduled, it's optional, right? So don't make it optional. Put it in your schedule and commit to it.
Yes.
All right, how to remove decision making. So why this matters, the more choices you have, the less likely you're going to follow through. So kind of like what I talked about with that willpower battery, like the more choices you got to make throughout the day, just the more drained you're going to be, the more tired you're going to be, the more stressed out you're going to be, and the more likely you're going to say no or not do it. So
the best example is like if you go to a new restaurant and you've never been there before, and so you're looking at the menu and I have a really hard time deciding what I want to get because I don't know if I'm ever going to come back there or not. And so I'm like, man, what's a good choice? What's not? And I'm like, I want 3 different things that's on the menu because there's so many options. But then if it was a menu of, say, 5 things, I'd be able to narrow it down. It's like, that's the one I want.
Yes. Like the Cheesecake Factory. It's impossible to choose something. I don't know if you've ever been there. There's like a million different things that you can get.
So it's like it's almost easier when there's only like a few options.
Yes.
It's like, I mean, not to take too much away from the training side of it, but even for diet, just having like 2 or 3 options to choose from for like a breakfast or something. And that'll be way simpler because you don't have to think about what you're going to eat or if you're going to eat. It's like, okay, what do I have for breakfast today? Do I have the Greek yogurt and berries, or do I have, eggs and toast or something like that, And it's like, if you have 2 decisions to choose from, you still have enough variety that if you're like, I don't want one today, but I'll have this. But it takes that fatigue away from like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to have from all these different options. Or like,
that's a really good point. And it's actually a very good tool is, if you're trying to eat healthier too, on the topic of fitness, maybe that is your resolution and start eating better, try to find 2 to 3 really healthy breakfast, lunch, dinners, and then rotate through those each week. And I know people that will draw at random. So like if they can't decide, maybe you have a card that's numbered 1, 2 through 3, and you have your recipes on it.
Right.
And then at lunch you draw one of them, and then okay, that's the meal I'm going to have or something today or this week if you're prepping.
Because I mean, most of the time we eat very similar meals anyways, even if we don't realize it. Like we tend to cycle through the same 10 to 15 meals regardless. And maybe seasons will change, but at least like month to month, it's usually pretty similar. And so just having like, okay, I'm going to have 3 options for breakfast, 3 for lunch, 3 for dinner. Like some that are go-to if you're like trapped for time. Like the best one is just getting a rotisserie chicken, microwave rice, and frozen vegetables,
Yep.
and then like have a sauce or seasoning that you put on it.
Yep.
Combine that into a bowl. It's like, it's easy. It tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
No dishes.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Very good.
As far as workouts, like either have a plan, or come into a class. That's really nice, just to come in and just don't have to think about it. Just do what you're told, and you get your good workout in. And then, just follow some sort of external source that's telling you what to do as far as programming wise. That way you don't have to think, oh, what do I want to do today? Or like, what machines do I want to do? But be somewhat flexible if you are coming into a gym and it is busier right now, especially if you plan on doing machines, like be able to work around it. It's okay to change stuff on the fly if you need to.
Yeah. And on that, I have personal experience. Like, first of all, I fell in love with working out and fitness. Like, I literally was going to college to become a personal trainer, but while I was in high school and in college, I didn't really follow an actual program. It was very random. We had to kind of just decide what we were going to do. Other than one program, I specifically remember because I did it twice. It was a 16-week program called Get Swole. So it was a bodybuilding program by Corey Gregory. And it was a great program. I got really good results because it was a structured plan, right? And I didn't have to think about what to do, so we didn't waste any time. You went in there, you did it, and you got out. And even when I moved back here and started training here, I didn't really follow a plan. And then we started to get into CrossFit. And I remember like Katie and I, or my buddy Chase and Tyler and John and I, we would literally spend 20, 30 minutes trying to figure out what we were going to do and write down a workout on the whiteboard. And you probably remember those days where we would just come up with something on the whiteboard when you started joining us for workouts. And we did that like every day. And, we'd waste 20, 30, like literally you could get half your workout done in the amount of time we were deciding on what to do. And then we would write stuff down and like, oh, I don't feel like doing that now or something, and make it easier or whatever. And so after a little while, we actually started, like, I program workouts for people for a living and I train people for a living. I pay for a program to follow. So we would follow a CrossFit program. We started with the box programming, did that for a long time. Then we tried Hard Work Pays Off, and we tried Comp Train, and we tried a bunch of different programs. But the point is, have some sort of program to follow, or like Bethany said, come to a class where we will literally show you what to do, explain exactly what to do, guide you through it. You don't have to think about it. You just show up and do it. So we remove the decision and the thinking behind it, and we are behind the scenes programming it out, in advance, so that way we're able to maximize, your efforts and your results. So definitely have a plan, remove that decision. And on the topic of like group training or working with me and Bethany, even personal training, that's kind of the last section that we would want to talk about. So the nice thing about group training or personal training is it's a fixed schedule. So we have specific classes on the schedule, and we purposefully have them on there to where people can either do 2 days a week consistently at the same time, same place, or 3 days a week consistently, same time, same place. So for example, we have Fit Camp Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:15, 6:15, 12:15. We've got your afternoons. We've got the 4, 5 p.m., 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got your Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. And then we have Saturday just kind of as like a great makeup day, or if somebody wants to get a fourth workout in. We've got Saturday morning, 8 and 9. So we try to kind of schedule it to where you're getting those 2 to 3 full body workouts in. So we're removing the guesswork, moving the thought. Don't have to worry about what to do, how to do it. We show you, right?
Exactly.
So it's a fixed schedule led by a coach, reducing that risk for injury. Plus the group environment substantially increases your accountability and consistency. Makes working out way more fun. And so, the group training and personal training is fantastic stuff. But anything else to add to that?
No, that's great.
Cool. I also just want to quickly point out, we've been noticing, and I love it, we've been noticing a lot more retirees coming in. And it's awesome because when you're retired, a lot of times, from what I've heard anyways, people just don't really know what to do. Like they kind of, they worked for 30, 40, 50 years and they kind of lose that like motivation and sense of purpose every day, like having a job or a duty or something.
They don't have a schedule or routine.
They don't have that routine and schedule anymore. So I've been noticing a lot more people coming in that are retired, kind of in that midday. And it's been really cool to see them working on their strength. And we've been doing gym demos and beginner packages where we teach them how to use the equipment in the gym, give them a routine to follow. And we've noticed that those people that we give that routine to follow, they've been here the longest. They're still here coming every day. They've got the best results. It goes back to everything we just talked about.
Yeah. And they usually get to know whoever's working on around that time too, between that like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a little bit quieter in the gym, not as many people, but a lot more of the retiree crowd.
Yep. So if that's you, come on in and we'll show you what to do and get you started. But real quick, how to implement all this. So choose your days. If your schedule is tight, pick those 2 or 3 days that you can be consistent and consecutive. Or, if you have a consistent schedule and you can commit to 5 days, pick that. Like Bethany said, hey, 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'm going to come in for 45 minutes or half hour.
Even 20 minutes. Even if the days you're like, man, I don't feel great, come in for 15 minutes, whatever. It's like
even if only 2 of them is a class, the other 3 you do, the machines or do the cardio equipment. Right? Yeah. The point is to get in the habit of showing up.
Yep.
And lock that time in. So same time, every workout as best you can. Pick a morning, pick an evening, or pick a midday. Maybe it's a lunch break. The other thing, like we said, follow a plan. Remove that guesswork so that you don't have to think about it. Join a coached environment like one of our classes. We've got 27 on the schedule because we have some new classes that we just introduced, which is super cool. So stop trying to design those workouts yourself, especially if you're not like an expert and you don't know exactly what to do for the best possible programming. Because I've seen people that do that and they maybe get injured or overtrain. It doesn't always work out the best. Lower the bar. So your goal is just to show up, not to crush every workout. I think that's actually very important.
Yes.
People, oftentimes they're searching for what's the best possible workout I can do instead of just showing up and making it easiest, right? And not to say that we don't try to make our workouts great. As long as it includes the basics of what you need to get done. So like we try to make all of our workouts to where you're going to get some lower body, upper body, core, and some cardio, kind of get the best of everything in a 45-minute package. The goal really is just to show up, even if you're giving it 70%, 80%. There are very, very rare occasions where you're able to give it 110% every single time. And even for myself, I would say probably, 9 out of 10 workouts, they're probably about 80%.
Yeah, I was going to say like 80, 90%. Right now I'm at 50%.
You want to push it. Here's a better way to put it. Give it the best that you can.
For that day.
Yeah, for that day. Like give it your best shot for that day, given your circumstance. So if you're operating at 60% energy, give it 100% of that 60%, right?
Or if you're injured, do what you can.
Yes. Or if you're injured, do what you can. Awesome.
Without overdoing it.
So consistency is success. Intensity will come later on. Make it a part of your lifestyle before you really try to up it and change some things and go intense. And,
you need to enjoy it first and enjoy being the routine of it before you start to add to it.
100%. Yeah. So this year doesn't have to be extreme. Strong habits beat strong intentions. Starting small isn't weak. It's smart. So if you want some help getting started, some coaching, some structure, even just for the gym, like we said, we do a free gym demonstration with sign up for a membership. That's something we just started this year, where we're going to take you around and at least show you how the machines work so you know what to do and how they work. We do have a beginner package where if you want to take that a step further, we'll do 3 sessions with you to really teach you 3 different full body workouts and give you the plan to follow. So that way, when you come in every day, you know exactly what workout you're going to be doing. And then, like I said, we've got 27 group classes on the schedule where Bethany or I or one of the coaches are leading you through the entire thing to remove that guesswork and get your full body workout in 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, however often you want to show up. Or we have the personal training for those people that want independent, individualized program, come at a time that's convenient for them. Maybe the group doesn't work out with their schedule. We do offer that personal training. So no matter what your goal is, what level you're at, what age you are, we've got a solution and a program for you. All you got to do is show up and the results will come. So hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.